There are K-drama kisses that we forget the next day. And then there are those that make history. The ones that make us freak out on the couch, pause, rewind, and watch 10 more times. Today, I'm going to remind you of 10 kisses that went viral, created ships, drama, and even doubts about whether it was acting or real chemistry. Hold on, because the last one still affects half the world to this day. When Nevertheless arrived, nobody expected it to cause so much discussion because of a kiss. But that wall moment between Han So-hee and Song Kang was direct, real, and completely escaped the shy little kiss style that K-dramas usually have. They were pressed together in a way that made many people wonder if that was acting or if there was something more there. And the bedroom scene then? There was no quick cut, no romantic soundtrack trying to soften it. It was natural, intense, and left a feeling that the audience was spying on something too personal. Many people loved it for the courage and absurd chemistry. Many people hated it, saying the series showed a relationship that was already born wrong and that the kiss only reinforced that. And that's exactly why the scene went viral. Everyone wanted to comment, criticize, rewatch, and send it to the group. The kiss became a topic on social media, a headline on entertainment sites, and a reason for fights and comments. Nevertheless may have many questionable things, but nobody forgets that kiss, because it was the point where the series stopped being a cute romance and became a feast of controversy. If there's one series that nobody imagined would have such a hot scene, it's My Name. The entire story is focused on violence, revenge, pain, and then, suddenly, Han So-hee and An Bo-hyun simply give in to a kiss that broke all expectations. It's not a pretty kiss, staged, full of poses. It's direct, it's real, and has enormous emotional weight behind it. Korea was shocked because it escaped the pattern. A traumatized character, used to getting her hands dirty, letting escape a desire she didn't even know she had. Netflix dropped this bomb out of nowhere, and of course it became a meme, analysis, theories, and debate. Some loved it, saying that finally a K-drama showed what the characters really feel without beating around the bush. And some thought it was exaggerated, as if they were trying to push something westernized onto the audience. But one thing nobody denied, the chemistry there was strong. The scene showed that Han So-hee isn't in the drama just to be pretty. She holds a difficult character, holds an intense kiss, and holds the audience watching without being able to blink. This one is the type of kiss that nobody wants to see, but that everyone remembers. The world of The Married touched on a serious social wound, betrayal. It's not the kiss of a protagonist in love, but rather the kiss that represents lies, destruction, and broken trust. When Kim Hee-ai discovers her husband involved with another woman and the audience sees those kisses full of desire for the mistress, the reaction was universal: indignation. Viewers were angry at the character, cursed, complained, but kept watching because they wanted to see where it would go. The kiss wasn't made to be admired, but rather to show how much infidelity hurts and how it can destroy an entire life. That's why the controversy. Some people asked the TV to go easier, saying it was too real, too uncomfortable. It was a topic on programs, on social media, families commenting in the living room, and the result? The ratings only went up. The kiss served to show that K-dramas also know how to poke where it hurts, without trying to turn everything into a perfect romance. And that left the scene marked as one of the most talked about in the genre. Love, Feet, Marriage, and Divorce was already born full of controversy, but when the part with kisses between characters involved in adultery came in, that's when things really exploded. It wasn't a shy, hidden kiss. It was a kiss from people who are doing what they know they shouldn't do, and still go all the way. The audience had real hatred for the lovers, cursing characters as if they were real people. And that's a clear sign that the scene worked. The kisses between Sung-hoon and Lee Ga-ryung were intense, full of physical contact, without that modest camera of traditional K-dramas. Korea is very sensitive to the betrayal theme, so seeing these characters kissing as if the world were theirs made part of the audience feel betrayed along with them. There were complaints, there were requests to cut scenes, there were topics running for weeks on forums, but at the same time, many people were watching precisely because of that. They wanted to see the circus catch fire. The kisses represented the worst part of relationships. When someone trades affection for ego, partnership for adrenaline, it wasn't a scene to sigh at, it was to discuss. And it worked. Every episode that had a forbidden kiss became a debate the next day. And it's exactly this type of scene that makes your video blow up, because people remember with anger, remember with shock and love to comment on how much they hated it, while clicking to watch again. Nobody expected controversy in Something in the Rain. After all, the drama seemed cute, sensitive, that kind of romance story that grows little by little. But when the kissing scenes between Sun Ye-jin and Jung Hae-in arrived, the internet started to divide opinions very clearly. The direction of some of these scenes was criticized because it showed showed a kiss too wet, with movements that left part of the audience somewhat uncomfortable. It wasn't that discreet Korean kiss, it was a real kiss, with intensity that some found exaggerated. And when a kissing scene becomes a topic for days, it's because it achieved its objective. It made everyone talk. The drama already had a reputation for treating romance with maturity, but there it seems it crossed the line a little for some people. Some praised the realism, saying they finally saw adult characters kissing like adults. Some said the direction forced too much intimacy, and that the scene was strange to watch. The curious thing is that nobody was indifferent. They either loved it or hated it. And it's in these moments that the series shows how a simple kiss can become a trademark. The chemistry was there, it just wasn't that polished chemistry. It was raw, direct, and for some, even uncomfortable. That guaranteed memes, debates, and of course, it went viral. Because when the audience discusses a kiss, it's because it made a mark. Few kissing scenes were as anticipated as this one. Descendants of the Sun was already a huge success, and the relationship between Song Joong-ki and Song Hye-kyo had that tension of when will it happen? When it finally happened, the audience was completely surrendered. The kiss was romantic, with a lingering look, built-up atmosphere, and that feeling that everything had been worth it up to that point. But along with the charm came a small surprise. Some people thought the kiss was more real than the standard of military dramas would normally allow, and as if that weren't enough, it soon became an explosion of gossip because the two actors started a relationship in real life. In other words, the scene became a memory, became proof, became a fan theory. See, they really gave in there. All of Korea was commenting. The kiss was not only beautiful, but became historic because it seemed to be carrying something that went beyond acting. It was that moment that makes everyone stop, smile, sigh, and go back to rewatch, just to feel the same emotion once more. It wasn't just a kiss. It was a turning point in the romance and the peak of the couple's chemistry that, for a time, dominated Korean entertainment inside and outside the screen. Few people were prepared for what It's Okay to Not Be Okay would deliver when it came to kissing. When this drama was released, the audience had already understood that Ko Moon-young was not a common protagonist. She was intense, invasive, direct, everything that K-dramas usually avoid in their leading ladies. So when she decided to kiss Moon Kang-tae that way, without asking permission, without a cute atmosphere, without an infantilized romantic soundtrack, the audience simply froze. It was a kiss that mixed emotional need, longing, frustration, and an almost desperate desire to be loved. It was direct, it was adult, it was real. Korea has a much more reserved physical contact culture than ours, and seeing a woman taking the initiative with so much force caused shock. Some people said she crossed the line, that she was too aggressive, that wasn't love. But at the same time, those who understood the character saw there her greatest fragility. Moon-young kissed as if she depended on it to keep breathing. The chemistry between Seo Ye-ji and Kim Soo-hyun became impossible to ignore. This wasn't a kiss to make the audience smile. It was a kiss to make them think, to make them feel uncomfortable, to show that when two broken people meet, romance doesn't come with pink ribbons and sweet music. It comes raw, it comes urgent. And that's exactly why this scene was marked. It wasn't made to be beautiful, it was made to be true. When we talk about memorable kisses in K-dramas, Secret Garden always appears at the top of the list. The famous foam kiss simply became a phenomenon. Hyun Bin and Ha Ji-won had been in that game of provocations, tension, and misunderstandings, and the audience was already tired of waiting for the moment when they would stop fighting to finally face each other with sincerity. Then comes that scene. Foam on her face, a silly provocation, he approaches without hurry, and cleans it with his mouth, transforming the joke into a kiss that made Korea stop. The impact was huge because it wasn't a casual kiss. It was bold, creative, and intimate. The audience didn't know whether to laugh or faint. And then the fever began. TV shows imitating it, couples trying to recreate it, gifs circulating for years. Those who watched it at the time remember exactly where they were when they saw this scene for the first time because it had everything. Surprise, chemistry, humor, and desire. No shy camera. It was filmed up close, so nobody had any doubt about what was happening there. The truth is that this kiss represented the moment when the drama stopped being just fun to become truly romantic. That silent, I want you, that finally came out of denial and became action. It's no wonder that even today, more than a decade later, when someone talks about K-drama kisses, the foam kiss immediately comes to mind. It became a reference, became a meme, became history. Few kisses achieve this feat. When we talk about unforgettable romantic scenes, Goblin simply brings the audience to their knees. And the kiss in the rain between Gong Yoo and Kim Go-eun is the biggest example of that. The plot had already won millions even before this moment. But when the two finally kiss with that umbrella serving as symbolic protection against the world, it was the type of scene that goes viral effortlessly. Slow, emotional, full of meaning, a kiss that seemed to carry all the pain and all the destiny tied between them. And it wasn't one of those K-drama pecks without movement. It was a real kiss. with intensity, with accelerated breathing, with eyes closed out of necessity and not for pose. The audience felt along with them, as if witnessing a release of something that had been contained for too many episodes. It was impossible to watch without thinking. Finally, the cinematography helped eternalize the scene, the rain falling hard around them, but they protected there, inside the umbrella, as if the universe decided that, just for that second, they could be happy. The soundtrack came in at the right time, the actors were at the peak of the emotional chemistry of the story, and the audience simply gave their hearts. There was no shortage of memes, fan edits, clips, and theories. The kiss became a collective memory and immediate reference when someone asks, "What's the best K-drama kiss?" Fans spent weeks rewatching, capturing frame by frame, and sharing on social media, because Goblin didn't deliver just any kiss. It delivered that type of kiss that confirms the romance, that gives meaning to the character's suffering, that makes everyone sigh even after knowing the ending. A kiss that became a milestone and continues to be cited years later as one of the greatest in K-drama history. The surprise kiss from W2 Worlds was definitive proof that Lee Jong-suk and Han Hyo-ju had chemistry that went beyond the screen. The plot was already crazy and engaging. Two worlds crossing, webtoon characters coming to life, rules breaking at every moment. But nobody expected the protagonist to simply take the initiative that way, without warning, without building atmosphere, just the impulse of someone who realizes that time in my world is running out, and I want you now. The actress's reaction was a chapter of its own. Han Hyo-ju really didn't expect the kiss with that intensity. Her surprise was completely genuine, which made the audience go crazy with the possibility of real tension behind the scenes. It wasn't polished choreography, it was spontaneous, it was hot, it was visceral. And then the rumors started. Comments saying that the two must have been experiencing something off camera, that the closeness didn't seem like acting, that kiss had too much truth to be just a scene. The internet loved feeding this theory. The direction also knew how to exploit every detail. The camera very close, the silence before the touch, the time that seems to stop. No quick cuts, no modesty. The viewer sees everything, feels everything, and from there the character's relationship gains new weight. The romance stops being a possibility and becomes certainty, and with it comes the tension of what now?